My name is Jesus Arias. I take care of members, startups, and business development at the KNX Association.
I'm Roberto Davico. I'm working in the same association in the System and Tool department, so I'm the geek guy.
He's the geek guy. We couldn't think of a better slogan for our presentation than this: when two giants meet. Well, obviously, you are here for one of those giants, so there's no need of introduction. You can witness in this magnificent event what they do. Let me introduce you very briefly to the other one. KNX Association develops an international standard for home and building automation. It's been in the market for 32 years, and the main core values: interoperability at application level. You take a thermostat from Siemens, a fan coil controller from ABB, two direct competitors in the market, and they work together at application level. But even more, to configure these two devices, you only use one vendor-independent tool. Well, these two devices, or whatever of the nearly 9,000 certified products in the KNX portfolio. But also backwards compatibility. You go to a house that was built in 1995 with an HVAC system, and you can put a new thermostat that is being built, manufactured today, and it will work with the existing installation. But don't worry, I'm not going to bother you with more details. I think it was a necessary introduction to understand the real example example that we bring here today. I see that you like this event because it's driven by business cases, but real examples. Also sense a bit of a development skills here. So before I worked with the KNX Association, I was doing system integration in Africa. I lived in South Africa for 6 years. And I encountered situations where these two technologies work together. Actually, there is a demand for these two technologies to work together. That's why we have been kindly invited by the organizers to come here today. One example, this is a real smart farm in Cape Town. So you have the usual outdoor farm with obviously the LoRa sensors to take care of the irrigation. But this farm also has an indoor hydroponic system, and is fully controlled by KNX. So from the lighting control, the CO2 measurement and control, controlling the nutrients to feed the water system, everything is controlled with KNX. So the farm owner wanted to have a full visualization system of the indoor farm and the outdoor farm in one place. This is a perfect example of LoRaWAN and KNX working together. Another example, I spent a few months in this island. My wife hates me for this. It's a private hotel resort in Seychelles. It has magnificent villas scattered through the island and several islands. And as you can imagine, LoRaWAN for the environmental sensors and all these sensors that need long-range distances, but the villas controlled with KNX. So also there's a central reception hub next to the pier and the helicopter pad that control the whole island. Another perfect scenario of LoRa and KNX working together. So since we have a beautiful KNX which pretty much cover any communication media, from our own standardized twisted pair or radio frequency, but also IPv4 and IPv6. We recently added Thread as a network layer as part of a KNX while keeping the interoperability at the application level. And we came up with a new standardized API. Here, my colleague, who is a developer who loves playing with technology, took the challenge of putting these things together, and he's going to tell you what he has done.
Well, thank you, Jesus, for the introduction. I also took the opportunity to take some pictures, while he will not do that at all, I know. So, anyway, well, I was in charge of that, not really a challenge, but interesting solution to be taken. So, how or what was my journey? So, first of all, of course, I need to study the thing network in general. So, and I started from the thing stack documentation, which, guys, it's wonderful. So, I was really astonished on the quantity of the material there and how it was clear. And I mean, I'm totally newbie in that field. I'm more the expert for the KNX part, of course. So I'm not going to tell you more than a compliment about. And I immediately spot in some of the initial diagrams that there were a potential join point. So I ideally identified that we can talk together via the MQTT channel. So I try to design an architectural solution, and I try to put it there with imagine. So let's do some imaginational steps. So imagine that we can talk with this integrated MQTT server. You can find a lot of library on the market that do that. I'm a former developer, so now I'm not developing anymore, but that's, you know, when you get a new toy, the first thing you have. So, and then I said, okay, imagine that you can simply subscribe that. I just post there some of my simple libraries, Python findings like Mosquito. And then imagine that you can take that link with a piece of software that we already have on our side, which actually it's a virtual server of those API for KNX third parties. One but last step. So imagine we can just extend a bit our current proof of concept, because it was not meant to be so open, but we're just one step further too, then technically it's definitely feasible and quite easy to use to have these two words talking together. So actually we are knocking them to the MQTT channel. So based on this basic idea, because this was a basic idea grown up in 20 minutes after reading the documentation, I thought, okay, then Roberto, what can we do to make it in practice? Because I don't just like to see on the architectural level. I would like to touch things. Well, I bought a sensor, first thing. So went on the marketplace, get a brightness sensor. So easy of use, just check 2 pages of the put in place thing. So I installed the thing network stack on my laptop. I use the Docker version, so easy peasy. Now Docker is almost everywhere. So by the way, our proof of concept run on Docker too. So quite a good joint venture there. Then, of course, I did some experiment registering my my library, my client library via the thing stack server. But in general, that's more your landscape. I just say it works fine. In, I guess, less than 1 day, I was able to already sniff traffic from this brightness sensor. Job done for me, in the sense that then I can take that payload and parse it in the KNX landscape. Easy peasy. Then what I did, of course, now we are on the other side of the spectrum. So from fully in the thing network to fully in the KNX, I use our one and only software. It's called ETS. I created a mock-up project by saying, what is my sensor doing? It's a brightness sensor reading the data sheet, it was containing, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the battery and the illuminance. So, and I mapped them to our data point standardized types on the same byte length. So we do have standardized data points. Then it's quite big. So as you can see in the picture, especially, is there any pointer? Yes, especially. I highlighted there the brightness illuminance sensor in how KNX sees that, binding them to this data type, which is already standardized at our side. And actually, I can carry back and forth from KNX a 2 bytes illuminance information. Simple as that. So it's already 30 years that we are doing that. By that, I exported, of course, I mean, we need a bit to make this digestible to our tooling. So our server, our virtual server needs this turtle format to be fed with. But to understand that there is a data point that carries this 2 byte as an illuminance, just to really cut it short. And then based on that, I was simply able to run this server proof of concept with the mock project to talk to this LoRa device. And where I stop because of no time. So I did that the last 2 weeks before coming here and prepare the presentation. So I totally didn't go beyond that. Anyway, there is the part still missing actually, because I didn't have the time to complete it. But this is open for first questions, interactions, or students also, if you want. So, or if I will have time and my colleague will tell me, yes, we go that way, then we can continue and finalize the exercise. But actually, the small demonstration carried so far was just to say, it's really, as I have learned and I have heard a lot of time today, it's short time to market application. So don't be scared. I guess that this is an easy peasy thing to do. So I guess I concluded what I did so far, so I will talking you back. So
thank you, Roberto.
Yeah.
So this was an exercise to put together these two technologies. Obviously, the association does not sell these solutions to the market. The manufacturers and developers do. So I think that it's a great platform here for companies to develop these solutions and make them available to the market which needs them. So it has never been easier to make them work together. We demonstrated. It's been done in a few hours.
A bit more, but...
And native technologies on premises like KNX can leverage cloud platforms like the things industries and the other complementary technologies, LoRaWAN, to make a unified ecosystem. So thank you very much for your attention.
Any questions?
Any questions? Well, thank you very much.